Showtime. Yeah, baby. On 99.5 The Bull.
Jesus Christ.
Can you please get your lungs back? Oh, goodness gracious. Camera's done falling down.
Dude, fix your shit. Jesus Christ.
Will you stop coughing? Your lungs.
Dude, I can't help it. No.
This is just asinine.
I'm dying.
All right. Well, we are here. It is another week. We have Gateway and a ton to talk about here on this episode.
What's there to talk about?
So what?
What's there to talk about?
Kyle gets a waiver.
Kyle Busch?
No, he got waved into the wall. That's different.
God bless America, and gentlemen, start your engine!
Still down there. Still down there.
Still outside corner. You're number one.
Was out. Hell was out. Vanessa just about out-wrecked him. And then she busted her ass.
Hey.
Thanks for the diecast, everybody.
You're welcome, sir.
That's the second diecast I have in my collection.
Yeah, I think the only other one I've ever seen you have is that Dell Jr. one that's right by your door.
Actually, I do have a Kyle Larson one from the 42 days, but it's a whatever scale this is, 1/64th.
Tiny.
I don't really count these.
Those are like Matchbox cars to me. I got my Al Gears and my Gregsons. He signed this one. Pretty cool.
It'd be pretty cool to collect like all the Noah ones for every single team he's driven for.
His Danica diecast, that's not a diecast, that's a pocket thing.
Yeah, I bet you got one too.
He only uses the handle. So we got a lot to talk about. We have Gateway just coming through. Gateway, not too much to talk about.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of thinking like we kind of go, unscripted anymore on these shows. I was kind of thinking like there's really not that much to talk about with the race, but there's a lot of news we can talk about. So I think today's episode we're just going to kind of skim through Gateway because there was two things that were exciting that happened in the race.
True.
One of which,
definitely that one. Fuel mileage. Someone's got some explaining to do. Apparently,
championship crew chief right there.
So what?
Championship crew chief right there.
Championship crew chief, and they did not fill up the tank because they should have been able to go 70 laps on that tank for. We're talking about Ryan Blaney here, guys. But he should have been able to go at least 70 laps, and he was at 67 since his last pit. So definitely, they did not fill the tank up all the way. So that fuel man cost old Blaney the race.
Didn't Larry Mack say he only took like one can of fuel?
I don't know. He said that he should have been able to take at least 70 laps, but that's assuming that it was full. If they didn't fill it up,
it wasn't full.
That's where this came from.
It wasn't full. Joseph, I have sympathy for you though, because I have been in that exact same situation, leading with 1 lap to go. That shit stings.
See, RJ, Ryan Blaney's pit crew might have had a meeting Monday morning. They probably had a meeting. Because they're especially that last stop when you don't know if there's going to be a green, white checkered or overtime. You got to make sure that you have that car full. That's just one of those things that cost them. Now, I will say Team Penske's happy because other than that, their drivers did exceptionally well this race.
And the wrong tweet.
The which tweet?
The wrong tweet. Ryan Blaney won the race.
Who did that? I didn't see that.
Yeah, Team Penske posted their social media that Ryan Blaney won the race, and they had to retract it and put the Cindric one up.
I didn't even see that.
It was even in the group chat.
Oh, I completely skipped that. I did not see that at all. That is hilarious.
Well,
Golly, even his own team doesn't think he can win.
I can understand you skipping that because all they wanted to talk about this week and weekend was the old waiver situation.
Yeah, and we'll definitely get to that. You want to go over that now?
Because there's not much to talk about Gateway, so let's just go through Gateway real quickly.
Okay, let's go through Gateway. I did not watch Trucks for Xfinity.
I watched a little bit of Xfinity. I fell asleep in the middle of stage 1 or 2. I can't remember. But I woke up and watched SVG win. So cheeseburger.
I heard that his burnout was epic. I got to see the Tokyo drift around the track through, thankfully, social media. But that's awesome. Congratulations, SVG. Again, one of the
so he's locked in the playoffs.
He's locked in playoffs.
So I don't know how far he's going to get.
First year.
First year. So that's pretty impressive. We're going to another road course, Sonoma, this weekend. Can he go back to back?
He's not racing Cup.
No, Xfinity as well.
Oh, yeah, but he's not racing the Cup race, which is interesting to me.
Yeah, that is interesting. But as far as like Xfinity-wise, can he go back to back?
Oh, he definitely can go back to back. I think Sonoma is another one of those courses that he's going to do really well at. Dude's talented. I mean, what can you say? He's already making a name for himself first year, and now he's won in both Cup and Xfinity. I think he can rattle off 3 wins in Xfinity this year at 38 years old, 38 years young.
I thought he's like 35.
What up, boys? What's up, Will? How's it going, brother?
What's up, Will? He's 35.
35?
But that's not – I mean, Kyle Busch is 39.
Camera adds a few years.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, that down under life must be rough,
bro. Now I will say, good on him too. He picked a random kid out of the crowd and did the old flag celebration with him. So that's awesome.
He signed a rugby ball. Yeah, you're gonna have a little issue like chairgating. He signed. I mean, bro, he signed a rugby ball and kicked it over, and the kid caught it. So yeah, I think the kid caught it, and then there was another kid he pulled down for the checker flag.
Okay. Yeah, I had heard about it. Again, I didn't see it, so I wasn't quite sure. SVG is the foreign dude from Talladega Nights. He is Pierre. Dude, they need to do a throwback scheme to that. That'd be hilarious. America. Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah.
Hey, you keep kicking, we'll keep sticking. On the sim race.
Hey, Vincent, I appreciate that. I mean, got it.
What up, Vinny? How's it going, brother? Long time no talk, man. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna upset him, and then he'll probably just wreck both of you. So that's been Kyle Busch's motif. I do want to touch on that because Kyle Busch for 2 straight weeks has wrecked someone that made him mad. Is he gonna make it 3 straight weeks?
We had a Coke 600 off from a Kyle Busch Fest, unless I missed something, which is possible. I think he had an uneventful 600. I'm skipping 600 because I'm still, it hurts. Yeah. I want to talk about that here in a little bit too.
Okay. We can, because bullshit. Boulder Dash.
Yeah. No. So Kyle Busch definitely lost his cool and I think did not have Austin Dillon finish the top 10. I don't think anybody had him finishing in top 10 because
everyone's bracket's gone.
Everybody's bracket up.
Everybody's bracket gone. They've already come out and said that is gone.
Yeah. 31,000 people entered that bracket challenge and nobody got past the first race.
I mean, you had that. You had Noah beating Ryan Blaney. I love Noah. NG, baby, but I did not have that. RCR
Penske Bubba Wallace was beat by Justin Haley, I think. Or no?
No, Justin Haley was with someone else. Bubba Wallace was with Logano, I think. Yeah. They were really close. Bubba Wallace's and whoever he was against was really close as far as the rankings went.
Let me see the seeds. Where's the seeds?
Spread the seeds.
You love just the dog in the background chewing on a fucking bone.
It adds that nice.
It's all right. I can hear myself on your speakers, so it's gonna just be like reverberation of the dog chewing on the bone.
Dude, I'm surprised at some of Haley's performances this season.
Yeah, how about Haley crushing it this year?
Well, the thing that's surprising is the fact that he's doing it with Rick Ware. The fact that he's killing it should not be surprising. The fact that he's doing it in Rick Ware equipment is the surprising part.
Yeah, but Rick Ware. I mean, yes, it's Rick Ware equipment, but it's also like a heavy alliance with RFK. Like they're pretty much in the back shop of RFK, aren't they?
They're the back. Like they're part of that team, but they're back there.
So
yeah.
I'm pulling this up. Look at the bracket.
Well, while you pull that up, I'll talk a little bit more about the bracket challenge and everything. So yeah, you're saying 30-something thousand people, no perfect brackets. I am currently tied for like 30,000 points. So I am not definitely winning by any means, but I have Kyle Larson one in mind. I was hoping that he.
There was Jeff Gluck came out and said that there was like 80% of the people in the bracket challenge picked Kyle Larson to win.
Dude, whenever I started putting the together, because I did not, when I looked at it originally, I was like, all right, this is going to be either William Byron again, or it's going to be probably one of the Penske guys if they get their shit in gear for the second half of the year, because it looks like they are.
Yeah.
And I just started going through the matchups, and as I went through, I honestly answered how I felt like each matchup was going to go, and lo and behold, I had Larson versus Byron, and I picked Larson to win that versus Byron.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I went down it too. Like I was just thinking throughout the year how people have run. So we had Hamlin versus Haley.
What's up, Andy?
Obviously, Hamlin advances on. Briscoe versus Logano. Logano just barely edged out Briscoe because Briscoe had a decent run, I believe.
Briscoe was doing decent. The SHR guys did not have a great day. Decent, but not a great day.
The next pairing was really close, and it was very surprising. Brad Keselowski and Carson Hocevar. How about Carson, top 10?
Top 10, rookie. He is having an outstanding rookie year, and it's making Zane look really bad.
It's making Corey look really bad. Corey
already looked bad.
You know, Carson's got already 2 top 10s on the year, I think, and Corey
I'm about to say, can you look? Because I'm pretty sure he has the same amount of top 10s as Corey LaJoie.
Yeah, and both of Corey's top 10s came on super speedways.
Yeah.
Alex Bowman versus John Hunter Nemechek. Bowman did not make it.
Where did he finish at?
I don't know.
I did not know that.
Oh, turn your volume down a little bit. I can hear myself talk.
Oh, shit. Sorry. There we go. I apologize, sir.
Yeah, you better apologize.
Let's see. Who you looking for? Y'all think Kyle Busch can make it to victory lane this season?
It's not looking great.
I thought his best chance was this race. I don't know now. RCR is not in a great state. Congratulations to Austin Dillon finishing in the top 10, but Austin Dillon is still trash. So I don't really know what's going on. Apparently, Austin Dillon just signed another extension with RCR. Dumbest thing in the world, in my opinion. But hey, I don't get to write those checks. But I don't know. He might. He's still a good driver. It's just not a lot of great races out there for him.
So Bowman was the 8th seed going against John Hunter, 25th seed. John Hunter finished 27th. Bowman finished 28th.
Okay. Battle of the turds. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I just – what is up with Bowman?
He was having some good top 10. He was like, I think, the highest driver in the last 5 races with top 10s, and now all of a sudden he's back to being –
He honestly hasn't been the same since his injury last year.
Yeah, his back.
I wonder if he's still hurt.
I wonder if he's hurt or if it's like caused them to like race differently. Like, sometimes like something happens and so like you don't go full out like you used to because you're afraid it might happen again.
Yeah. Our next pairing was Chase Elliott, Daniel Hemrick. That was the easy win. I mean, Hemrick finished. Well, he finished better than I thought he would have.
Hemrick, I completely forget Hemrick's even racing Cup this year.
I looked on the 18th. That's a surprise. I looked on the rundown like in the middle of stage 1, and he was dead last. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Very, very possible. So Ronald said Martin Truex Jr. might retire. Who is going to the 19 car? So there's a couple options there. Heard a couple rumors. Heim is going Cup Series, whether it's in that MTJ slot or 2311. Apparently, there's a rumor going now that Zane would move over to 2311. I don't feel very confident in that one.
Yeah, I don't see
if Ford gives up Herbst, they're already losing a four-car race team. If they give up Herbst on top of that, so their future, it's almost like Ford is signaling that they're trying to get out of Cup Series.
So that Zane Smith rumor to 2311, I'm not going to put a lot of stock into it, but here's something interesting to think of. So Zane Smith is obviously a Trackhouse development driver. He's under contract with Trackhouse.
Smith or Herbst?
Zane Smith.
Okay.
Did I say Herbst?
No, Herbst is the rumor.
Yeah, no. Herbst to 2311?
That's what I heard.
You said Zane Smith.
I didn't mean to say Zane.
Okay, so now you got me all. So
Sorry.
What I wanted to say, though, because it's still on the same track. So
Yeah.
Zane is on loan to Spire because he's a Trackhouse contracted driver.
Yes.
What if Trackhouse buys Zane out and Zane has to go do whatever he has to do next, and they move Noah to that third Trackhouse car? Because Trackhouse is going to get this other charter from SHR.
So Trackhouse has it, but it's got to be. I feel like obviously they have SVG as well.
Yeah.
So they have SVG and they have Zane. SVG to me has more upside at this moment to bring over to Cup side due to sponsorships and money.
I mean, yes, there's definitely a financial thing with there, but I mean, you really think that Trackhouse would want to, not say gamble, but go on a older guy? I mean, we just said he's 35, an older guy that doesn't have a lot left in Cup Series racing probably, and go towards Noah, who had, I mean, Noah, put Noah Gregson and Ross Chastain on the same team.
I think Noah is going to end up on a great team. I really wish it was RCR.
He has to.
The more, I mean, his top 10s right now and the way he's running, his points don't tell the story because remember, he has a 35-point penalty so far this year due to earlier in the season.
And I was looking to see he would be 19th or 18th in points right now.
Yeah. And I mean, he's had some really good races. He's had some, obviously, he wrecked out at Atlanta. And I think he's got 2 DNFs for this year or 3 DNFs for this year. I could see Noah moving. I mean, Noah racing with 3 different race teams and 3 different manufacturers in the last 3 years. It's possible.
How weird would it be that the 19 would still be sponsored by Bass Pro, but it's Noah instead of NTJ?
And that's what I want to touch on because I feel like JGR or RCR kind of have the closest lynch here because of the Bass Pro Shop. You got Austin Dillon who already runs it.
I think it's probably going to be a money thing too. Like,
it's 100% money.
Noah's going to be cheaper, so will they be able to put cheaper funding into Noah and then go to Joe Gibbs? Because I mean, Joe Gibbs is going to pull a lot of money to start with. They're going to be requesting the most amount of money to sponsor a car.
Yeah, well, 100%. But they also have the best team to wrap around it. They're going to be one of the few teams with 4 cars, especially if they're making this apparent rule where you can only have 3. So Trackhouse, who signed 2 drivers to go hopefully to Cup one day, now they can't have both. And that's why I think they have to make that decision. And to me, yes, he doesn't have that long, but most of these contracts are a year, 2 years. Yeah. So I think they can sign SVG to a 2-year contract and he can fulfill that 2-year contract. I don't think it's the long stay for this.
Keep going down the list here.
So Riley Herbst to front row. That's the big thing that I heard that I think is the most possible.
Who?
Riley Herbst to front row. Yeah.
I see him going to the 15 Rick Ware.
There's a lot of possibilities, but I think from some information that I've seen out there, I think that this is the best bet for him because you put him, Todd Gilliland, and Josh Berry together on that team. That's a pretty good team.
Yeah. Well, front row is gonna. What's up, Chuck?
What up, buddy?
Front row is gonna,
you know it.
I think front row is going to take a step backwards.
I mean, they are showing right now how well they're doing because of they've moved into that top tier Ford program.
Yeah.
Obviously, it takes a little bit of time to get into that, but they're doing a good job.
I feel like McDowell is probably the glue in that situation. Lona.
if they're smart, Spire and Trackhouse will work together and be a powerhouse going around the rule. I don't know if they can because Spire already has 3 drivers again.
Yeah, McDowell.
Yeah, McDowell's that third, so there's not an opening to keep Trackhouse with that additional. Someone else would have to team up with them.
We're gonna go into 2025, and Corey LaJoie is gonna be the worst driver at Spire. But
that's already now. We don't even have to go to 2025. It's 2024.
Well,
it's already
Zane
there.
Smith is giving him a run for his money, though.
Yeah, but I don't term that car to them. Yes, it's racing underneath their banner, but
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some Trackhouse.
They're already going to be a step backwards losing McDowell. I mean, they're not wrong.
Like think about when Christopher Bell was in the 95 for Levine. That was a Joe Gibbs Alliance car, but as soon as Bell went to the 20 car, his career took off.
I don't know about
that. Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I honestly don't want Gregson to go to front row.
I think Gregson's time at Ford is over this year.
I think so.
He raced trucks in Ford. He's done stuff with Ford before. But I think this was his only year just because of the way everything worked out. Yeah. I think this is his only year with Ford, and he's going to be in either a Chevy, which is my number one thought, or a Toyota.
We had Bubba Wallace and Austin Cindric, 13th seed and 20th seed. Austin Cindric, our winner. I don't think anybody had Cindric.
There's no way anyone had Cindric.
Yeah.
Bubba Wallace has done decent at that track. So, I mean,
Blaney.
Who did he go against? Who was he going against?
Who? Bubba?
He was going. Yeah, it was Bubba. Okay.
Yeah. Blaney, 12th seed, and Gregson, 21st seed. Gregson. Now, to be fair, that was just because Ryan ran out of gas on the last lap. Like Ryan was going to win the race, so he was going to advance.
So David,
is it an upset? Yes.
Yeah, 100% upset. So David,
but no, in the 48, it's obvious Bowman isn't running good.
As awesome as that would be, Ally puts way too much money behind Bowman.
Bowman ain't going nowhere.
Unfortunately, he has signed that extension because of Ally, so that's not happening
through 26, I think.
2026. 2027 for Ally, 2026 for Bowman.
Yeah, I think Ally can opt to bring him back.
See Ross, Josh Berry, Noah Gregson, and Suarez at Trackhouse. They can't have 4.
Yeah, Bowman won the 26. No. Ally is through 28.
Oh, okay. Through 28. Sorry.
Yeah, like I said, Blaney, Gregson, we know about that one. Byron versus Priest. That wasn't too hard. But here was the next real big upset. I would argue probably the biggest upset. Number 2 seed, Martin Truex Jr., lost to the 31st seed, Austin Dillon.
That's an upset.
Like, that's a huge upset.
That's huge upset, especially with how it was.
Never mind, yeah. Martin had a bad pit stop or something. I wish
you're looking for. I really hope NG gets a ride at Trackhouse, the best possible outcome. I don't like the direction FRM is going. Inspire is mid, other than host.
Nathan's in the Instagram right now. What happened to Martin in this last weekend? He finished 34th.
I think he got caught in pit cycles.
Was it bad pit stop or loose wheel or something? There was something.
I don't know. He was not happy though because he had something happen earlier. But I will say he was pushing Bell because Bell was blowing up. Now that racing between Bell and Blaney was phenomenal. Like that was some dog fighting. It was just fun to watch. I mean, that was beautiful. And then all of a sudden you hear over the radio, "I'm blowing up" from Christopher Bell. That's
I couldn't believe it. TRD engine problems very rarely happen.
Yeah. But I'll say the teamsmanship there for Martin to basically push Bell around the straights, that was pretty awesome. Like he made up 4/10 that he was losing. He made up 4/10. So that's pretty good. It's pretty awesome.
We had 15th seed Chris Buescher versus 18th seed Daniel Suarez. Buescher finished top.
It wasn't a good day.
14.
Yeah, it wasn't a good day.
But Suarez finished 23rd, so not a.
So he scraped by. That was not a good day.
Thing with the Trackhouse situation too. Like, what do you do with Daniel? Because he's clearly not performing. Yeah, he won Atlanta, but It's a super speedway.
Super speedway style. That's a fluke. I don't know, because apparently from what he said, they're really close to finalizing the deal, but that was months ago.
There's got to be a money thing. Obviously, like the whole Mexican-born driver, there's a lot of money. Like the whole Danica Patrick, Dale Jr., like they don't really care about the results versus the amount of money. I mean, with Pitbull too. Like I think
you ain't wrong.
I think with Pitbull being in there, Daniel was pretty much a lock.
Yeah, I think he stays around. But yeah, no, I mean, very interesting race when it comes to the last couple laps, because definitely the fight that was going on between those two. Obviously, Larson running out of talent and wrecking Kyle Busch was up there.
Yeah, I mean, I would actually say he pretty much did run out of talent, because he could have easily backed out.
Both were at fault.
Busch could have done the same thing.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It was a racing deal. Busch definitely pinched him into turn one, took the air off of Larson, and I mean,
well, so here's my thing.
If one of the greatest drivers can't catch the car like that, I mean, it would have happened to anybody. So,
well, and see, my thing here is Busch even said in his post-wreck thing that, you know, they got to do better than this. They got to look out for stuff like this. He could have made that situation different. Obviously, Kyle Larson goes to side draft, gets too close, hits him in the left rear out of turn 4. However, okay, you take your little side shot, you show you're not happy, but then you wreck going into the next turn because you're too mad. Like, he's got to be better than that too.
You got to be situationally aware in a scenario like that, because the whole waiver thing, we're not going to talk about that just yet, but we didn't know, if Kyle was going to be in the playoffs or not. If he's going to be in the playoffs, he needs every single point possible. If he's not in the playoffs, I mean, he's only racing to win in that regard. So either way, Larson's not going to give a fuck. He's going to send it in there.
Well,
Kyle,
Larson
on the other hand,
normally.
Yeah, Kyle on the
That's
other
just his racing.
Busch on the other hand, he's not locked in, doesn't have a win. The results aren't there. He's low in points. He's
only at 14. When that happened, he was 14 in points.
Yeah, he needs to be racing with caution. And so I understand the frustration, but to go into one and hold a guy down like that, you're kind of asking for it. So I don't. Kyle seemed calmer than ever this year. Yeah, Kyle's.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ballsy makes a good point.
Yeah, Kyle's
I don't know if it's because he sold all these business interests, and so I thought it was going to be more to focus on racing. But I don't know, man. Something's not right in that Busch camp. I don't know if he's already not happy with Richard and that whole thing, or what's going to come from it. Because there were some people saying, "Hey, he might go over to 2311." That's not official rumors, but if people are saying that, like,
Kyle for so many years has dominated. Year in, year out. He's 62 wins. I mean, Harvick has 60 plus wins, and he retired at 47 or 48, wasn't it? But Kyle's 39 and has the exact same amount of wins. So Kyle can theoretically get 75 plus wins before he retires.
Yeah.
And he's probably looking at it as every single race is a chance to win, and increase the amount of wins I have, make it further up the win list.
Yeah.
And they just keep slipping away. And it doesn't help when you're in, I'm not going to say it's subpar, but not the greatest equipment right now.
RCR they're not doing any favors at the moment.
They're not. I mean, Austin Dillon's 31st in points.
He finished top 10. So if he finished top 10, I really think Kyle definitely had a chance to win that race.
For sure. Kyle Busch would have won, or not won, but would have definitely finished top 10 in that race. No question.
Honestly, I think he's jealous that he's no more the most hated driver Denny is. He wants this title back.
Maybe it's true. Maybe Kyle just lived off of that bad guy intimidator-ish.
It could be very possible that because the other part of that isn't just being the most hated. It's also the most publicity. Publicity equals views. Views equals money. So
think about when Kyle came out during the Bristol intros that one year. He goes, "If you love you some Rowdy, go boo." Like He lived off that shit.
It's true. It's very true. But all right, so now let's get into the meat and potatoes, because obviously Austin Cindric winning, even Penske didn't think it was a big deal because they pushed the wrong person.
Yeah.
Congratulations to family Penske, whatever you want to say. But congratulations to Cindric for winning it. Yay. Now let's move into the fun stuff. So waiver. I want to talk waiver here. Obviously, you are a Larson fan. There's a flag behind you. Wait, is the flag?
I just got that flag. All my stuff came in.
You switched it. I just noticed that.
Yeah, I did.
Looks good. So
I switched it around. Put Chastain, because I think Chastain and Larson being next to each other, especially like their Darlington schemes. Like we always know what happened. Darlington.
I'm starting to understand why you're a Rick Ware secret fan, because you put those two side by side to make 15.
At least it's not Cody. Well, no, that was Cody Ware. Holy shit. That's bad. If I flip him around, then it'll be Justin Haley. God damn it. All right. So waiver. Let's talk waiver.
So I want to go first here real quick.
Yeah.
I am glad Kyle got the waiver. However, now that he has gotten this waiver, they need to change the waiver rule. Period.
Yep. Is that all you had?
Oh, there's a lot more to it, but I'm going to let you get your spot first.
I mean, I 150,000,000,000% agree with that statement. They had no choice but to give him the waiver. It doesn't matter how mad they were in that situation. They had to do it, because it would be the Chase Elliott effect all over again. How many Larson fans would not tune into the playoffs knowing that he wouldn't even be in the playoffs? They might even stop watching, start this coming weekend.
It would be worse than the Chase Elliott effect.
Yeah.
Because here's what NASCAR has done to themselves. You get a waiver for everything. They Oprah Winfrey waivers. Yeah. You get a waiver and you get a waiver. You got suspended, waiver. You got hurt outside of NASCAR, waiver. You missed multiple races due to that same injury, waiver. It did not matter. So if they were to go into this and not give Kyle a waiver, something that they publicized a whole bunch, something that he said he was going to try to go for, that is completely beside the fact. That has absolutely nothing to do with the main reason why I thought he deserved this waiver. Everything boils down to they have given a waiver for everything else.
Yeah.
So if you sit there and all of a sudden go, can't do it now, that makes absolutely no sense. So now that he's got this waiver, we need to either at the end of this year or now, they need to change this rule. Either make it medical waiver or family emergencies, or get rid of them. Just get rid of the waiver system. I agree 100%. I think you had said it in the group chat just the other day, top 15, top 20 in points. The only thing I would like to caveat to that is if you miss a race, if you miss any race, 5, 2, 10, whatever it is, playoff points subtracted from your total.
Yeah, there's got to be a penalty in that, because if you get rid of the waiver system, you almost open up a little bit of can of worms there, because
you do.
What if I'm going to use William Byron as an example here, because he won the first couple races and immediately locked himself in. We're talking William Byron, Denny Hamlin, the first 8 races of the season. So let's just use Byron as an example. Say Byron wins the first 4 races of the year, or a handful of races of the year, immediately locks himself in, has a whole bunch of points and everything. And he decides, you know what? I want to go run this race, or I want to go do this or whatever, and says, I'm skipping this race. Whether it's the Coke 600, whether it's Darlington, doesn't matter. Say he skips the race. Now you are allowing drivers that lock in early, be like, I'm going to take a race off. You have to have a penalty involved.
There has to be something.
So if you take away playoff points, that's one way. I think you can keep the waiver system in place, but like you said, there has to be very strict rules on the guidelines on how these are handed out. Medical waivers, yes.
Because right now they're broken.
With suspensions, I feel like, if you get suspended, NASCAR suspended you for a reason. Why should NASCAR go back and be like, I know we suspended you, here's a slap on the wrist, but you can still race in the playoffs? Like, no, if you got suspended, you did something bad enough to get suspended.
Because they don't suspend just for anything. Like, that's my thing there. People are like, well, that's not fair. How? Like, if you like, how many people have got suspended, and what is it typically for? Right rearing somebody.
Yeah.
Like, that's dangerous.
We're not really seeing that now. We haven't seen it since the Chase Elliott situation at 600 last year. So
Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott. That's about it.
Yeah, I feel like you can keep the waiver system in place. With regards to Indy and doing the double, I think we wouldn't even be talking about this had NASCAR been more transparent about the waiver going into the Indy 500 weekend. They should have. Maybe it was Friday. I mean, the forecast was looking grim back in Friday. They knew that this was going to be a possibility 48 hours in advance. So maybe Friday NASCAR should have said, Kyle, Hendrick, we know that your priority is the Coke 600, but we just want to let you know that if you miss the Coke 600 or come in late to the 600, we will grant you a waiver, whatever it is. Make that transparent, make that evident off the rip, because now we have all the speculation going on for 2 weeks. Well, is he going to get the waiver? Is he not going to get the waiver? Is NASCAR mad? What's the deal here? I have another theory here. Is it possible? And Elton Sawyer definitely said that we didn't make the decision prior to Indy. We waited for a week working out all the details to make this decision. I don't fully buy that.
Highest of the team.
Yeah, I don't fully buy that, because you really think that the 5-team, Larson, Hendrick, everybody would have signed off on the fact that if I miss the start of the 600, I may not get a waiver involved. The sponsors, everybody wants to see Kyle Larson in the playoffs, other than the people that don't like Larson. So,
and that's the big part. The sponsors are definitely having a say in this as well. Yeah. The fact that the main sponsor, though, is Rick Hendrick, kind of skews that a little bit.
Yeah.
However, NASCAR had all these conversations, and the one piece that bugs me here, when did priority shift from the Coke 600 to the Indy 500?
The day
because it was the entire week, the entire camp saying Coke 600, Coke 600, Coke 600. All of a sudden, the weather started being a factor, and we changed the tune.
Yeah,
that's the part that bugs me. When
it bugs me too.
Did NASCAR have communication with him any bit in that, or was that just his camp?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand from this. What I have a problem with thinking is that there had to have been some type of agreement. Like, yeah, you're going to get a waiver. Is it possible? Put your tinfoil hats on here. Is it possible that NASCAR had already given this waiver out? It was just behind closed doors. And they said, you know what, we're going to draw this out. They told Hendrick, they told Larson, they told everybody, we're going to draw this, we're going to draw this out and cover up our horrible call of saying humidity was the reason we couldn't restart the race. Is it possible that
they had to take some blame off themselves, because the publicity was terrible? I mean, all around publicity from the Coke 600 was just killing NASCAR.
Yeah. Did you listen to Actions Detrimental at all?
I did. I finally listened to it today.
So how about Denny's tinfoil hat conspiracy theory?
Stewart won because he's Stewart. I don't know if it's going to deal with Supercharged. As far as the tinfoil hat theory, I cannot speak. I agree with him. I think you said in the group chat that you agreed with him.
Yeah.
I haven't met many people that haven't agreed with what he was talking about.
I mean, I bet NASCAR was so fucking mad in that moment that Kyle skipped the 600 to do the Indy 500 after leading up to the day of that the 600 is my priority, and flips that decision like that. They said, you know what? Kyle just got here. He's got his helmet on and everything. How convenient. It started raining. All right, we're going to let this rain go through. We're not going to start this race back up.
And there's a lot of things that can kind of go into that. The publicity. They talked about how they lost viewers because of it. The people that were watching, even the Larson fans, I'm pretty sure were watching the NASCAR event. I think they just lost it because Indy 500 got pushed back. I think no matter what, even if Larson did not stay, they were going to have a ratings hit because it's the crown jewel for Indy.
Yeah, the Indy 500 was delayed, so obviously they're going to have a ratings hit. I don't blame that. I don't blame that on all of Larson not making
but that's one of their excuses, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
There was going to be a hit regardless.
I honestly think that they had a deal in place that he was going to get the waiver prior to the start of the Indy 500 because they believed that the 600 was going to be the priority race, and had other circumstances arise that Larson would have started the race late and maybe made it there by the end of the first stage and could have got into the race, so be it. But because he completely changed 100% from 600 is my priority and now the 500 is my priority, they were mad. They were mad. And so because of that, they were like, you know what, we're going to be petty here. And as soon as Kyle gets here to the track, we know rain's on the way. We're going to act like we dry the track. And then, we can't dry it anymore. Come up with some bogus excuse. Kyle, you're not getting in the car.
Yeah, it's possible. I hope not. But at the same point, NASCAR also sent some of their equipment to Indy. Yeah. Why would you do that? Why would you, if you know, why would the rain for the weekend was the same? It wasn't as high as it was for Indy, obviously. There were still chances of rain.
There wasn't much of a chance of rain, and honestly, I think it was Sunday morning. I was scrolling through Twitter, and I saw somebody had mentioned something about the possibility of rain, and I just looked at it and I shrugged it off. I'm like, it's not raining. What the fuck are you talking about?
It looked
I
great.
even looked at the forecast, and on my phone, it had the weather app on the phone was saying there's no rain.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff that can go behind this, and I think that people will be talking about this year and this incident for a very long time. I think the Coke 600, it's going to take till we have the next Coke 600 to fix it. Yeah. Unfortunately for us, we've had 2 Coke 600s that have not worked out the way that we wanted them to. Thank God that we had the crew, because that saved our weekend.
I really hope that next year goes flawless. Kyle gets to do the double from start to finish with no delays. It was absolutely perfect, so we can see the true actual double happen.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
I even had I was saying it that Sunday, I had a problem with Kyle flipping his decision, or whoever's decision it was, of going from the 600 is our priority to going to the 500 is our priority. Because I mean, I'm an NASCAR. Yes, you have lots of people showing up to the Indy 500 to watch Kyle Larson race, but are they actual Larson fans, or do they just want to see the spectacle of Larson do the double? I was at the 600.
He was doing.
I was at the 600 to see my guy race.
Yep. Yeah. And that's the thing, is that's where this problem kind of arises, because I don't agree with that decision. I don't get paid like he does. I don't have sponsors. I didn't have money in it.
Yeah.
But that's the part where if it was the waiver was meant for only being medical and family emergencies, I would have been 100% okay with not giving him a waiver.
Yeah.
But because of, again, the history, that's what made it to where they had to do this.
I mean, I think so. David Motz said earlier in the chat about the whole Tony Stewart being one because he's Tony Stewart, like all of that. I know what he's saying, and I was saying that in the group chat earlier today about how let's use Austin Cindric as an example. I'm going to use him because Cindric is part of Penske, like family-wise, a part of Penske and everything, and then Penske runs in Indy. So let's say Cindric decided to run the double one year because he's not nowhere near as popular as Kyle Larson. I think if you walked up to a very average race fan and you said, "Do you know who Austin Cindric is?" They'd be like, "Who?" Like that's his popularity level. So, say Cindric does a double, and everything happens the exact same way as this Larson situation. I bet you they would not give Cindric a waiver.
Well, now I don't think so. I mean, now they're going to use this as the precedent to go, well, we had to do it once, but we're not going to do it again. I think.
Well, so if they rework the waiver system, do they put a clause in there to like you have to attend every single race except for medical? Yes, you have to start every single race except for medical or personal reason or whatever. You cannot skip a race just because you want to go run another race. But do they put a clause in there for except for the double Indy 500 because NASCAR has been promoting this the entire time. So
yeah, but where do you stop? That's when you get into Jordan Bianchi. I hate to say it, but that's when you get into Jordan Bianchi's part where do you stop?
Yeah, but I don't know how you fix it other than you have to. There can't be any gray area because the rule
Black and white.
now is that it has to be a medical or personal reason contingent to if NASCAR approves it. So they can approve anything.
Yeah.
Just like I'm going to suspend a driver for right rear hooking somebody, but you know what? You still get to race in the playoffs. Like, no. Why are you going to slap them on the wrist but reward them the next week? Makes no sense.
Yeah, and that's where NASCAR's got to be better. That's why this rule just has to change. They need to get rid of waivers, go to something different, or edit it just like we talked about here. I made a TikTok, obviously on our TikTok. So if you're just now joining us, make sure you go check out the TikTok video.
I actually like your option is if you decide to miss a race for other than a medical reason or whatever. If you decide to miss a race, whatever playoff points you have in the season, that you lose them all. I think you just lose them all. Yeah. You have to start over. I think that makes the penalty big enough.
Yeah, because here's my thing with it. I don't think they keep saying, "Oh, what's going to keep them from doing it?" Sponsors, money. Like these drivers need this money. The sponsors are holding them to obligations.
Yeah.
That I don't think there's going to be drivers out there going, "I just don't want to run this week."
Take owner points away as well.
Yeah. It doesn't.
The money from owner points is substantial. So the owner would be like, no, you ain't missing this race.
Yeah.
They wouldn't sign off on it.
I don't think that part is going to go into it. But if they miss for any reason, again, you wipe those playoff points, you subtract from playoff points, something in that line, and we make it work. So
start a petition because I really like that.
They file the waiver because weather impacted him getting there on time. That's one of my theories. Yeah, Ballsy. I mean, I know Fox had a part in it because I talked with one of our friends that knows some things, and Fox was a part of it. They were not a key, like they did not 100%, drive that nail in, but they were definitely a heavy part of that hammer.
Yes. There was a lot of people defending Fox and being like, no, Fox had nothing to do with it. I don't buy that either.
Fox definitely had a piece.
Yeah.
Definitely had a piece.
I don't buy that at all.
Definitely had a piece.
So that was that's our waiver discussion. I mean, we could continue to talk for hours, but I don't I think we should just waiver has now become one of those words that I just don't want to hear anymore. Like encumbered win or anything like that. Like I just moist. Yeah. Let's move on from the word waiver and the whole discussion of waiver. What else happened? I feel like there was something else that happened.
Newsworthy?
Well,
I mean, SHR shutting down.
Who?
SHR shutting down.
Yeah, but we talked about that last week.
Was it confirmed at that point?
Yeah. We did a Tuesday episode, and it was Tuesday that it was announced. It was like Tuesday morning-ish.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we didn't really talk about it much. So I feel like for the last few minutes here, you can just kind of discuss the fact that SHR is shutting down, and we got 4 drivers looking for rides at the end of the year.
And my thing is for this, and I don't know if we touched on it too much when we talked about it before, the contracts, they have year contracts. They can ask to be released. I don't know if SHR is going to be very open to releasing people because obviously they still got to run these races. But the showing for this race when they came out for qualifying was not very strong. I hope that's not a sign of basically that camp starting to let go.
Yeah.
But I really hope they can finish this year out strong. One thing I noticed during the race, though, they weren't really racing like they were teammates. They were racing like
they were that too.
Yeah, they were racing like they were going for a spot.
Yeah, I noticed that too. So it's going to be interesting to watch the dynamic of this team through the rest of the season.
And I know the possibility of this is super, super, super low. But just imagine the news story. SHR shutting down and an SHR driver winning the championship this year.
Yeah, I mean, That would be like Front Row or not Front Row, but Furniture Row and Martin Truex, which you love a Cinderella story. I mean, Brad Keselowski did it with Dodge
but
their last year. So yes, but I don't see Stuart Haas car making it to the round of 12, let alone maybe not even one in the playoffs.
I don't know if they get one in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Amazon's broadcasting the 600
Yeah.
streak. Yes, they are, and I am not a fan of streaming. Yes, I have Amazon, so I'm okay. I can definitely watch it.
I don't.
However, I'm going to be there, so it won't matter anyway.
Yeah.
But I am not a fan of streaming services, picking up races and picking up this stuff. I just don't like it. I'm a big fan of back in the day. Didn't matter where you were, didn't matter what cable package you got. You could come home, you could watch the race, you could watch the Atlanta Braves, you could watch the Atlanta Falcons, you could watch the Carolina Panthers, you could watch all your sports free.
Yeah.
Now,
the only thing, so I don't have Amazon. I quit paying for that because they hike the price of it every single year. So the thing I don't like about it is you have to sign up for, I think it's going to be 2 months because they have 6 races.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 6 races or 5 races? It's 5 races.
5.
Yeah. So you have to sign up for 2 months of Amazon Prime. I think that's like $19. Luna. I think it's like $19 or something like that a month.
Yeah.
Then we switch over to TNT, which I don't have a problem with TNT because it'll be on, I don't know, regular
standard cable.
Yeah, standard streaming, so like
standard
YouTube
cable
or whatever. We could talk about this for an hour and a half. We're not going to, maybe in a conversation later. But I mean, why don't we just have a dedicated streaming app for NASCAR races? I don't understand it. We're gonna have Prime come in that you have to pay a subscription fee for, and I guarantee you there's still going to be commercials.
100%. 100% there's still going to be commercials. And this is my question. Whenever they built this full facility that they're going to be doing this productions out of, I thought that was signs of NASCAR taking over its own broadcasting, at least. A piece of it is, but why not do the whole thing? This TV deal lasts for a good, how many years is it?
It's like 10 at least,
10?
I think.
Yeah. So this writes NASCAR being able to be their own streaming service for 10 years.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming, and I do not really like that.
And I had read something too. So the NASCAR app, which I pay for, you pay for, it's another subscription. The scanner, I listen to the scanner every single race.
Yep.
But I also have Larson's onboard on every single race.
Mm-hmm.
I read that the onboard video is it going to Prime? Yep. Somebody's picking up. So if you want the onboard videos, now I'm going to have to sign up for Prime for an entire year.
You keep the scanner. The scanner is staying, but all onboard video is all going to have rights to Amazon.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch any of that,
I don't like that at all. That's bullshit.
That's how all this is. Everything is subscription based. How can we still make money? All right, well, we make something a subscription. We add that subscription. To get this, you got to pay for this. To get that, you got to pay for that. That's what everything's going to, and that's just that's not only racing. That's everything. And I'm luckily for 10 years, we don't have to worry about it getting worse. However, I don't really like it for 10 years. I'm not going to be a fan of that.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a fan of it at all. I mean, like David said, don't get me started on the Braves. I'm pissed. I pay for ESPN Plus and I can't watch them. It's 100%, like the whole blackouts with MLB and everything. It's not just NASCAR. Every single sporting league they're pretty much by the balls by these broadcasting partners because they're the ones that get to decide all this. I would gladly pay for a NASCAR subscription if NASCAR streamed their own races, even if they had commercials, as long as they're timed properly. Like maybe you fill up every single caution break or caution with commercials.
So my thing is, if NASCAR does this, charge, I don't know, $20 a month, $30 a month, whatever it happens to be. Charge whatever they choose it to be. If you want no commercials, you pay an additional $10, $15 a month. During the commercials for the regular, there won't be talking, there won't be anything. It'll basically be crank it up moments. That's what it would be.
That's
So
the way
I'm
it is
fine with
now.
that.
Like when we go to when we have VIP and shit, and we're in the pits and everything. Like the teams, they have the direct broadcast feed. So like when NBC's playing the race, NBC is being played on the monitors in the pit boxes, and then when they go to commercial, if they continue to show the race. If you've ever been in the stands or have a scanner at the races and you tune into the TV feed on your scanner, when they go to commercial break, you hear the commentators talking, most of the time talking shit and acting up.
It is pretty funny.
The banter is hilarious between commercial breaks.
Yep.
So,
MRN does the same thing.
Yeah. So there's ways to do this and everything. I pay for YouTube Premium. I watch a lot of YouTube, so I don't want commercials. So I pay to get rid of commercials. I would gladly pay. I'd pay $40 a month if I had to watch NASCAR races commercial free. Because
How many months do we not have NASCAR?
3.
So a yearly subscription. Would it really be that bad?
No,
Not at all.
I don't watch any regular TV. I pay for YouTube TV just to watch NASCAR.
See, and that's where I'm okay because I'm a big Georgia football guy. So UGA all the way. I watch all the college football, and then from college football, I basically go back to NASCAR again. So I basically have something to watch every weekend.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah.
So a little different.
Pick your battles, I guess.
Yeah, but all right. So let's go ahead and move into picks.
Sonoma.
For Sonoma. So who you got? You go first.
So I've had to think about this quite a bit actually. I'm gonna kind of go off the cuff a little bit and say that Martin Truex is gonna finally break through and get his first win of the season. I think that Martin knows this track way too well. He's won plenty of times at Sonoma. I think he's got 3 or 4 wins now at Sonoma. We got a fresh repave, which is going to be an interesting little additional nugget to the race this coming weekend. But I got Truex winning it.
Okay. Not a bad pick whatsoever. Obviously, he knows that track really well, just like you said. For me, I'm going to go with a road track proven driver. I think Tyler Reddick picks up another win.
I can see it. Tyler did not win this race last year. I don't think he's won Sonoma yet, but yeah, I can see it. That'd be a big win for Tyler because Tyler's a NorCal guy.
He has not won.
Yeah, Tyler's a NorCal guy, so that would be that'd be a big win for him. I'd be for it.
Yeah, I can't remember where he's finished before. I want to say he hasn't had the best of luck, but I think he finally gets that monkey off his back for Sonoma because we know he can road course race. We know that's going to be a thing.
Speaking of Sonoma West Coast races, I don't understand. I know you didn't watch the Xfinity race, but why don't the Cup guys go to the Northwest? Like, Portland. Why don't we try Portland for Cup cars?
Because the racing product for Xfinity cars on a road course versus the racing product for Cup cars on it are not even fair. The Cup cars will not perform as good on the road courses as the Xfinity cars do because of the way those cars are set up. So if we go there in a Cup car, unfortunately, the racing will just not be as good.
That's a valid argument. I 100% agree with that. Yeah. However, it seems like NASCAR doesn't really care about their
they definitely don't
on track performance or product or whatever, and they're more about kind of going to fan bases because here's all the talk about. Let's go to Mexico City. Let's go to Canada. The Cup guys do not race in the Pacific Northwest. Like there were fans there at Portland. Like they showed up to it, and they only get the Pacific Northwest only gets one race a year, and it's not even a major league. It's the Xfinity guys, your AAA. You could argue that. So I'd love to see NASCAR make a trip out to the Pacific Northwest.
I think it's something that could happen, but like some have said here, Ronald has said money, and I
Fuck, you think they care about money? We pack our shit up, go to fucking Clash, and then drive all the way back across the country and go to Daytona. Now we're talking about going to Mexico City. That's
not
even
NASCAR. We're talking about the
here.
facilities. So even on this side, I think it's who are you looking for? Yeah, who you're looking for. Always already said too. The facilities are definitely not there.
Yes.
The infrastructure is not there.
Yeah.
I don't think there's enough money to pour into that track to get it up to par.
I know that there's a lot of reasons why, but there's also
Should
a
they
lot
try
of
it? Yes.
reasons why we need to invest and go to the Pacific Northwest.
Yep, I agree with that.
Anyway.
But all right, so there's our picks. There's our episode. Thank y'all for joining us. Really appreciate everything. Make sure if y'all need a cooler, koozies, freeze packs, whatever you need, when it comes to keeping your beverages cool, go check out our sponsors. We have Kanga Cooler down there. You can either go through our link tree and use that link to get over to it, or you can just go to kangacoolers.com and use code FASCAR10 to get yourself a discount. It helps support us. That money goes towards our race trips and us doing more racing action. We've done a lot of upgrades this year. There's some more upgrades we would like to make to the bus, but we can only do that from y'all. So thank y'all so much for everything. If you want to support us, there's that. There's also shirts. We have shirts out there. So make sure you go, it's tpublic.com and then search Fascar Living, or again, you can just go straight through our link, which is available through, I think, all of our social medias. And we have 4 different shirts you can choose from right now. So that supports us as well.
Do it.
But that's all I got. So we got anything else? You want to add more?
No, I mean, we could talk for another 14 hours, but I got to work tomorrow.
Yep, same. Well, that's it for me. Thank y'all so much. Until next time, see you.
See you later, Luke Combs.